My wife announced, "I'm pregnant, but I need a DNA test to know if it's yours or Kyle's." I calmly said, "No problem." Then we scheduled a DNA test. What the doctor told us at the appointment changed everything. I've always considered myself a reasonable man. Approach problems with logic, gather the facts, weigh the options, and make the best decision possible. That was my motto, not just at work, but in all aspects of my life, particularly in my relationship with my wife. But nothing could have prepared me to be so calm and collected. My name is Ethan, and I'm 32 and work as a network analyst. She's smart, creative, and she's always been able to make all the great work make their way through what she had been up to. If there was one thing to know, it was that that was her way to go. I appreciated all of it for her. I never understood how she did, what she needed, or everything that was there. The relationship between Olivia and I was all good, but to know where it was about to go, it just goes to show, what do you know? Then came the day that all got twisted. But the weirdest thing to this day was not the money. Her face was etched with a weird smile. "I'm pregnant." All I said was, "That's awesome." Now, to note and state this, she had said that it was impossible. I just could not have understood what has changed to get here. It wasn't that I did not have faith, but more of a huh. As I celebrated, her face was that same tone. Not bad, not good, but still. It started off with these things. "I need to tell you something. About this kid." "Oh, okay. Is everything fine with the baby?" As that, in itself, was the only thing I cared about, and to do well and correct. All I wanted was to make sure she was doing great. I want a DNA test to determine who the father is. Kyle is not out of the question. She spoke without emotion, and I said, "What?" For her to be so blasé about the entire thing, all I did was stare. I could not believe everything that had been worked on, or everything what I had always thought has just come crumbling down. What did I say? "No problem. Whatever you need is all here." She knew and looked like that all of this was supposed to break me at all seams, that this was the most important thing she ever wanted to come to terms with and make all be set. That wasn't what it was, right? For better context, she had said that this person, Kyle, was one of her best friends. After I had helped her out, she came up and started to be more sexual, as she did not understand why I was not in more trouble than I had intended. But those plans were then starting to bubble and set up for those. What was I supposed to do when the trust was broken? Did I even need to think this through with it all? These were the questions that would set me right, over and over and over again, and I needed answers. There were plans that had been said before and how everything came about. "Thanks for being so kind," she said. That got me mad, and that also said to me that maybe she did not see me as equal, that there was something more about what I could not be for her. There might have been some plans here, or it has been everything she tried to do with me to change the plans. I don't know what to feel. I just knew that going forward, whatever happened at that doctor's office, it was going to mean everything or it meant absolutely nothing at all. The calmness I displayed in front of Sarah was a carefully constructed facade, a mask I wore to conceal the turmoil raging inside me. The phrase DNA test kept echoing in my mind, a constant reminder of the gaping wound in our relationship, the blatant admission of infidelity, and the uncertainty that now clouded our future. I had to figure out what my best plan of attack would be. I called the office and mentioned I was going to take a few weeks off. I needed to get my mind right, to be what I thought all of it was. But as I was getting ready to call her, there was a new number that was calling and texting her. The time to get things done in order to be okay. Who was it? Then, I was going to look at the computer and to then figure everything out when she mentioned that, "Hey, I'm coming up." It was a man. Did she know that I saw her and was planning on stopping? I did not know, and her thoughts are not mine to bear. What I should think for now is the plan and what to do with my people. I decided to call my best friend Lucy, and she mentioned, "Dude, it sounds crazy, but let's think this through." That was all I needed to hear. I got the information. She did not remember the day, so that might mean someone drugged her. I know now that something very serious would have been impacted. When I started the data analysis, I saw what all happened and I passed out in my bed and knew there was all to be said. If nothing was all put into plan, I would need to have them on my side to work out for what was to come through. The plan was, first, to reach out to other friends. See if they had heard from anything and try to find out what was supposed to be had. Find out what I can do to make everything set. It might be time to start what to do and to make something work to what would be the next chapter. All the lies. It needed to stop and to be all good. So I got into the Discord and got all those to do well. She started coming around with everything, and there were still many things that I could not control. It was very worrying. There's nothing to see here. Trust me, she said. What I need is for you to give me all of the trust. What was she up to? Then, as time passed, people were ready to talk, and so I let it be what needed to happen and to see it go through. Here is that new info you asked for. Check your email. What I thought that I wanted to be was there for me to check, so soon enough I would then get there with all this done. I thanked my friend for all that it was. This meant a lot. After getting there, I looked at the computer. I finally got the answers to everything I had asked for. All this time she was hooking up with my friend and was ready to leave. And there was the planning. What was she really planning, though? She had planned to say that I had hit her, and for what this could be. I had a feeling that something was going to change in my view, but knew that no matter what happened, I had to be ready. I was about to do it, and then a notification for an appointment made me get ready to see the doctor. With a new person, I thought maybe that everything was going to fall out soon enough. We need to get the word out about all the choices that you can have. But what happens when there is none? The biggest challenge with that was being ready. I packed a bag, got an appointment to tell him I was leaving. There was no way that I could continue. What was I going to name that? That I was not going to be the pushover anymore. Then things cut into action. She said to come over. Then I was stopped in my tracks. It was the same number that I had used to ask. But how was it? Was this the man or her? I did not go, but went home. And that's when I saw it. The police are here. One of the neighbors yelled. I went to the window, and all dot of them there. They were going to be ready, and with all this effort, what a waste. Update 1. The weight of Olivia's pregnancy, coupled with the gnawing uncertainty about its paternity, had transformed our once harmonious home into a pressure cooker of unspoken anxieties and simmering resentments. Every glance, every touch, every casual conversation felt loaded with hidden meanings, veiled accusations, and unspoken fears. She did not ever look at me. I tried to maintain a facade of normalcy, to play the part of the supportive, understanding husband, but the act was becoming increasingly difficult to sustain. The thought of another man, another lover, fathering my child gnawed at my insides, poisoning my thoughts, and fueling a growing sense of paranoia. I found myself scrutinizing Olivia's every move, analyzing her every word, searching for any sign, any clue that would confirm or deny my worst fears. I started monitoring her phone activity, checking her call logs, her text messages, and her social media accounts, all while battling a crippling sense of guilt and shame. I was becoming the very thing I despised, a jealous, controlling, and distrustful partner. What am I, a monster? The day was coming, and to what end had it all done? What has all done and occurred with what she had? Was all to change, or would need to end up, or to come down? But all of that did not matter. What had to be done came first, that she started to pull away and make all of this worse. And for me, the questions kept piling up, but there was nothing I would change now. The lack of intimacy, the canceled dates, the vague excuses for being out late. All these familiar red flags were now amplified, magnified by the lens of suspicion and fear. I felt like I was losing my mind, descending into a spiral of obsessive thoughts and irrational behaviors. In what had been a moment of peace, a phone number rang that was not known and knew that it was not my phone. Needing answers, to know that if this was all in my head, or what there was to give, had been taken away as well. Then, against my better judgment, I asked Lucy. Lucy did all the right things for me and to come about with the life that it all did take for. If the situation had to end, she made sure it did, and so it fell in place. It was a plan that had to be worked on from the time. I need you to do me a favor. There's this guy, Kyle, and I feel like Olivia is planning something, but I need to know before what I do next, I said. She was quiet at the other end. I hated it and wanted all of it gone, and said maybe there was another person who was involved in what has long been built for her. Was not a problem for me alone. There will be an end, if there will be. This was the start of a whole new world, the type I never would have imagined. I thought that Lucy was going to be just a friend, but after the fact, it was evident that something else was going to be born. What did she want, though? I could not see it from the outside, but what would be? Then all happened at once. The world as I knew it might have been lost. There was the potential and the loss. It was what was to come with those words. To know more. As if those words were a switch, a flood of memories, both real and imagined, washed over me. Olivia's laughter, her touch, her whispered promises of forever. Were those moments genuine, or were they just a performance, a carefully constructed act designed to deceive me? Had I been a fool all along, blindly trusting someone who was capable of such profound betrayal? The self-doubt was crippling, making it difficult to function, to concentrate, or to even get out of bed in the morning. I started calling out from work, feigning illness, unable to face my colleagues, knowing that I was falling apart, that my life was spiraling out of control. I knew they would probably find out at some point anyway. And if there was something that I could do to get on with everything, well, you might as well have it all put and ready to go and just go through the work as a whole. Then the bombshell, it was to see the text. She has mentioned she is going to get them soon. So it is now or never. What will it be? Seeing that with my own eyes put all, and what was going to happen. A series of events were just going to pop up, and for me, it would be the best way to go about it. As everything I needed to do, I might not have had. And yet, I didn't even know how to make this all connect. But now, the world was about to explode. Now it was time to get serious. The police number was at my contacts ready to go for what they needed. Final update. The message confirmed it. Sarah had been actively planning to leave, to start a new life with Kyle, and I was nothing more than an obstacle in her path. The time for subtle investigation, for careful maneuvering, was over. It was time to confront the truth, to expose her deception, and to reclaim my life. I needed to get all of it handled and be done. I thought back to all of it, the way she had touched me, the way she had looked at me. What did it all mean? The years had told me nothing. The world was spinning, and I could not just get there with it. The years of trust, of supposed admiration, of her just being here, and all that I had learned was to be a farce. So now, it was time to use what knowledge I was getting to take it up. I needed to use this to be ready and to show everything as is. There's nothing more to be said. Let's end this. I texted back to Lucy. I am ready, as I will be. The police came. It was a moment unlike anything else as I showed them all the evidence, all that has been. They said to not do anything rash, and they could take it from here. That has to be the moment that was so very easy. I looked over to my mom and dad to let them know what was happening, and they said all would turn out all right. They knew that she was off. I should have known. I was so bad. Thanks for coming out to tell. The best friend chimed as all had started to get together. As the police went over, I called her over to the place we needed to be at. She just gave that odd look, and then the plan was in motion. As they spoke and she talked down as she did with Kyle, all things turned. What had not been seen then became and was a part of the police's view. And from there all has been set into a different tone to take us away. The arrest happened. You have the right to remain silent. I knew to never look back, because what was a view was now more distant, and nothing that I cared to have. The next few months was getting everything out of her hands. The savings, the work, the reputation, all of it was going to be over. This might have hurt me to do so, as I knew that to have some success from her point of view would mean the world. That was never to be seen. After the long and arduous court battle, everything started to finally make sense. To this day, there were a lot of what I said, and then with what the world may be. As now, things went to my side. As said in my favorite cartoon, the universe is a cruel, uncaring void. The key is not to struggle against it, but to love it. I can be sure of all the things to see it there, and I will be sure to make it what I value and hold dear. It had led me through here, and everything was all set. There had to be, to give back to the universe, what the universe had helped to see me be. And this is where everything shall end. My journey and my story. As these things can come, so shall I strive to make the most of it, and to do what has to be right by you. You know better to see and make better what I had, and not to worry so much of my time. As you get to know more and more, the most important part is that as you move on, please value yourself and believe that we'll always get to see. It all has been wonderful. For you now, what should be the title? I wish you the best, and see you later.